also a video. In this video, we are going to see how advanced concepts of object-oriented programming works. So we are going to first create a class name node, and then what we are going to do first, we going to see the concept of class method. So this is the one of the basics of advanced oops. So we are going to first create a construction just to stay like collect the information of the object. So we are going to just create constructor, and then we are going to assign it a argument name and p num. So we have assigned the arguments. So let's n is equal to n self. So we have assigned the constructor, and now we'll be looking forward to how the it works. So first, what we are gonna do, we are going to take two variables, q, and I'm going to assign it a integer float data type 56.3, and then another variable which is n, which is an integer named 23. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do. Let's make some space to make our code readable, and then what we're gonna test our code. Let's so you all can see my code. Then we're gonna make the object named x. X. We're gonna give the constructor details such as x. You can give the p number as an integer, but it's not required. You can just give it as a string, as we are not going to perform some uh, like actions as an integer. So just give a string 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So we have give the p num, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we so now I'm gonna explain what's an instance is. So if we want to change the pnum to sorry I'm really sorry, I'm going to explain how to make an instance here. So if you want that your queue is different, okay, so now we're gonna change the queue. So you can just write q dot x dot cube is equal to whatever float number you want to give. I'm gonna give it 88.2, but make sure that it's a decimal so that it's a float data type. So we have now assigned it. So if we print that, let's see it in our shell. So if we print x dot q, and before that, I'm gonna show what's all about. I'm gonna explain that first. Just see what I'm doing, and if I do like node, if I didn't take the object, so if I do node dot cube, and if I run the current script, you can see that it first it's showing which is the class, it's showing 56.3 that we assigned it earlier, but now but in the object which is x, and then it's showing 78.2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the variable from its class, not from the object. Okay, so I showed the example. Now let's clean it up, and now we're going to change it from its class only. So we have to make the function for it, and first you have to give this class method. So now whatever arguments you pass and set as it's set as default class argument. So we're gonna name the function cls change, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna just like that, and then we're gonna pass arguments self, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the q and m. You can also change m and m. So as you can see, we have passed, and now we can assign that. So self dot q dot m. As you can see, we have assigned the variables. So now if we look at the function, so this is an instance attribute. We can change whatever the data is, but it is for the object, not for the entire class. So let's try it out. So now we are going to use the function cls sorry x dot cls change, and now we're gonna pass the arguments. So whatever you can give, I will give. uh, Remember to give it in a float data type, and you can give it as an integer as 12, and then we're gonna print whatever it is, but we're gonna check the first the class. So node dot we're gonna first check q, and let's check node dot m. So it's going to show these data type, means the changed integers float numbers here. So it's test. So it is, as you can see, we assigned it 20 34.2 and 12, and now we are taking the class, not the object, as you can see. But if we try to use the instance like x dot q, then it's just going to change for the object itself, not for the class. Okay, so the first thing was class method. So now what we are going to do, I'm going to explain the new method which is called the property. So let's make a property. So now what if like your function in your class does not require this two slash sorry, this two brackets. So let's change it. So you can name your function. I think I'm gonna just name it my func one, and let's give it brackets, and then what it is going to do, like it's just going to add, like it's just going to return self dot m. So it is just going to return self dot m. So what if we like to change, so if we would like to print my new function, and I would just write my func one, and then I would run the property. So you can see it's giving an error. Wait a minute, let's see. My func is one is not defined. see what there is. My um, purpose backline. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Really sorry. We have to give. It is not an inbuilt function. We are not doing normal scripting, right? So now we will run the program. As you can see, it's returning the m value that we just assigned. So it is 12. So as you can see, you might be wondering that we need this bracket, so that obviously it's the property of a function that it requires these brackets to take arguments, but as you can see it didn't require one, so we just took the object and didn't pass the this bracket. So that's how property works. Like if you don't want it, like if it doesn't take arguments and do the job, you can just use the property. And now the last but not the least concept I'm going to explain is the setter. Okay, so let's see what a setter is. So first, to get a setter we have to write like this: my func one dot setter. So we have created a setter for the function myfunc. Okay, so what it will do is we will give it myfunc um one, and then what we're gonna do, and it takes an argument which is called uh, let's assume h, and then sorry, what we're going to do, we are going to create another variable in our class which is j, and we're going to assign it 68, and then what we're going to do is take the newly created variable, and we are going to use this setter to change the newly created variable. So let's see how it works. So self dot j is equal to j. So as you can see, we have assigned it, and so let's test it out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is check. So first, print the normal myfunc, which is a getter. If I didn't, I'm emphasizing that this property is getter. Okay, and this setter is the setter for this getter. Okay, so as soon as you make the property getter, it is a property, then it's becomes a getter. Okay, if I'm clear. Okay, so now first we are going to see the normal myfunc. We are going to see the function x dot, I'm making the same mistake again. Okay, my func one. Okay, so if we do that, and now what we will do, x dot my func one is equal to, what we're gonna do, you can assign any integer or float data type. So I'm just going to take 43.1, and then what we're gonna do is print the x dot myfunc now. So let's see if it works or not. 5 or let's test it out. As you can see, oh sorry, it returns X dot. So this property returns GX. Really sorry. Now we will run it. What it returns. So you can see first it returns 68, and after we assign the getter, it changed its property. So this was the video explaining the advanced concepts of object-oriented programming. I hope you liked it, and make sure to drop a sub. And yeah, bye.